ASU's improbable run to the college football playoffs has Sun Devil sports fans still not sure if it's all really true, and football fans around the country not sure how the Devils did it. Michelle Gardner of the Arizona Republic covers ASU sports, and she joins us now. Michelle, good to have you here. We usually have you on when there's some sort of problem, there's probation, there's also, this is a human. What's going on? How did this happen?
That's a complicated answer. I think the number one thing that's happened is Coach Kenny Dillingham. The man's he just oozes passion and enthusiasm, and there's not a fake bone in his body. What you see is what you get. So he's really easy for the guys to buy in, play for, and I think he's a guy that resonates with the whole area. He's from here. He's got a vested interest in making this program great again. And he's gotten the public behind this program again, which I didn't think I'd see this fast.
Well, and again, the last time we spoke, probation was hanging overhead. The AD is gone. The head coach is gone. It's a mess. It's a real mess. This is an amazing. Can you think of a turnaround in college football quite this dramatic?
No, absolutely not. And when you look at this year, Kenny was still dealing with sanctions and scholarship reductions this year. So he's done this even though he was handcuffed going into the season.
The impact of so many local connections. Went to high school here, coached at high school here. I mean, he knows, pretty much knows the lay of the land when it comes to high school football. How big a deal is that?
That's huge because I think the alumni trust him. Nothing against the previous regime, but that regime came in, didn't know the landscape of sports in Arizona. Kenny kind of knows what he's dealing with. And I think that's helped him navigate this and really has helped him get this train back on track.
Well, if he's the conductor, then the guy shoveling the coal is this Cam Skattebo. This guy is unbelievable. He's just the most fun thing to watch. He's like a little bowling ball out there. No one can seem to catch. Did ASU see this coming? Did you see this coming with him?
He was good last year, but he wasn't great. They had a bad offensive line last year with a lot of injuries. And then Cam himself was not in shape. And the coaches had a heart-to-heart with him last year. And he said he wanted to play in the NFL. And they said, if you want to play in the NFL, right now you're not there. You need to lose weight. You need to get in shape. And they gave him basically a list of things that he needed to do to put himself on the map. And he did all of those things. He lost about 15 pounds.
Wow.
The strength, you can see the strength and the balance he has. He's impossible to tackle. So he was a good player last year, but he's obviously taken the next step.
And when the coaches say to a star player, you need to do this or else, you know, in various forms, and he does it, and he succeeds like this, that only helps the coach's message.
Absolutely. And then the other thing with Cam Skattebo is he was always told he wasn't good enough. He went to Sacramento State because nobody else offered him out of high school. So he's kind of always had that chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And when you look at this team, they've got a lot of guys with a chip on their shoulder. They've been the underdog. They've always been told they're not good enough.
How about the NIL money and the transfer portal? Either or here. How much, I mean, could ASU have made this dramatic of a turnaround without transfers, without NIL?
No. And I think that's one of the big reasons that this has turned around. The transfer portal has made it it's basically college free agency.
Yes.
So, you know, you can bring in a whole new cast of players. It's not like the old days where you brought in a freshman and the freshman had to sit the bench or they had to develop and it took 2 years for him to develop. Now you can bring in a player from another noted program that's played 2 years. But the other thing about the portal, and I think it's the number one thing that's turned this around, is Kenny Dillingham got the right players. You can get a 4-star or a 5-star athlete, but you've got to get the right players that fit your system, that will buy into what you're doing, and that are unselfish.
Indeed, and have something to prove, because if you're transferring, that means you may not be all that happy where you are, or something else could attract you somewhere else. If you don't think you're respected or you don't think you're getting the fair shake, you come out to ASU and you might not be a 5-star, but if you're a 4 or a 3, and you got that passion, that makes a difference.
Well, and you look no further than the quarterback, Sam Levitt, who came from Michigan State. He played a handful of snaps last year, but there was a coaching change at Michigan State. The coach that came into Michigan State was from Oregon State, And Sam is from Oregon, and that coach didn't recruit him. So he didn't want to play under a coach that never recruited him in the first place. But I think the NIL is big too. And the problem with the NIL is that the previous regime was not necessarily on board and didn't know how to navigate that. And now that there's a new coach and a new athletic director in place, the team's had success, and now more donors want to buy in. Boosters want to buy in. So it's kind of steamrolling and picking up speed now that they've seen some success.
And we've gotten ASU's, received. I've been on the receiving end of some pretty good players here. Are they going to be able to keep these guys? Are they going to be able to keep Kenny Dillingham?
Well, Kenny's local, and I think he wants to be here. He's made that known. This is his dream school. That's the difference between having a coach that's from here than one that's from out of town. And as far as the players, I think the quarterback, Sam Levitt's going to stay. Obviously, he would be a quite an attractive person on the open market. But one thing that this young freshman quarterback did is he's taken all the money that he is earning through merchandise sales, and he's putting it back into the ASU collective for his teammates.
Holy smokes.
So that shows that he's all in and he wants to be here. So, I understand the fans' concern, but I think that this quarterback's going to be here.
Last question here. Success stories like this, especially when it comes to the football program, what does it mean to the school? What does it mean to the school's athletics?
It's huge. And the other thing that you see is Bobby Hurley, the basketball coach, was at the football game in Dallas. So the programs are feeding off of each other, and they're drawing energy from each other. I see more students at games. You saw 2 games this year where fans rushed the field.
Yes.
There's an excitement that hasn't been here for this program in a very long time.
Well, Michelle Gardner, excitement for you too. You get to cover all this, and you still got more to cover here as they go off to the playoffs. Michelle Gardner, again, Arizona Republic, covering the ASU Sun Devils. Thanks for joining us.
Anytime. It's a delight to talk about this.
Yes, it is.